You now have a new American president who ran on a campaign very hostile toward free trade and very favorable to protectionism and tariffs, and explained it in a way that enough people could understand it that they voted for him, believing that tariffs would protect American industry, would enable its reemergence, the return of jobs. And you have these establishment economic outlets like the Wall Street Journal and those types, the neoliberals and sort of the classic conservative economic dogmatists who are horrified and outraged by what's coming out of the Trump White House with regard to protectionism and free trade and tariffs. What do you make of his and his administration's approach to these questions?
Yeah, well, first of all, most of his tariffs are used to get concessions on other things than straightforward the economic things. Yeah, so the use of the threat of tariff to Canada and Mexico to kind of intensify their border controls. Yeah, but insofar as it is used for economic purposes, I think it's very poorly conceived and will backfire. The most immediately is going to increase the inflation. Yeah? Especially if you impose tariff on Chinese imports, which account for a big proportion of the U.S. consumer products. Then it will have immediate inflationary effect. Yeah? I mean, this is why initially talked about 100% tariff on Chinese goods, but now it's only 10%. Yeah, because even he and his people know that could spark off an inflation. But in the long run, this importation of the cheap, good quality consumer products from China has been one of the most important factors in the modern neoliberal American political economy, because the wages have been suppressed for the last 50 years. Yeah? The U.S. Median wage fell from the mid-70s till the mid-90s. And then it started rising again, but recovered its 70s level only a few years ago. You know? And in that story, of course, another the important role was played by the ballooning of credit card and other consumer debts. But the availability of these the cheap Chinese goods were very important. Yeah? Now that if you impose the tariff on the Chinese goods, I mean you'll have to pay your workers more. You know? How are you going to cope with that? So it actually could undermine the whole neoliberal economic system. Now he says this will rebuild the U.S. industry, but I'm afraid it's not going to happen like that, because protection, as in the infant protection story, protection only creates this space in which the improvement can happen. Yeah? And in order for that to happen, companies need to invest. They need to do research and development to innovate. They need to recreate the skill base of American workforce and so on. And there's no plan to do it through the deliberate industrial policy. So he's basically leaving it to American corporations to do it. But then these corporations are actually not interested in rebuilding the economy. Yeah? Because the U.S. now has, this really started in the 80s, but that really came into full being in the 21st century. The U.S. now has a parasitic financial system which is not interested in the long-term investment. Yeah?
But
in the last 25 years, the American stock market sucked out money from corporations rather than putting money in, which is supposed to be their job. Because now these companies, in order to satisfy these short-term oriented shareholders, they have to do huge stock buybacks, sometimes borrowing money to do the stock buybacks because they want to do stock buybacks that's bigger than their profits, and giving away huge dividends. Yeah? So in the last 25 years, 90 to 95% of U.S. The corporate profit has been given back to the shareholders. Yeah? So these companies are like leaky buckets. Yeah? You create more water by temporarily protecting your economy from foreign competition. These companies get more resources because of that, because now they don't have competition. They can charge higher prices and so on. But this money is going to leak out of these corporations. Yeah? I mean, look at the way that Boeing has been destroyed. Yeah, all because of this the parasitic financial system. So I'm afraid that it's not going to work. You know, it's not to go back to the infant industry, the analogy, although in the current U.S. case is not an infant, it's the kind of the revival of an old person. I mean, it's not enough to go to the school. The kid has to study. You have to, provide incentive and punishment to the kid so that it puts adequate hours and concentration to study. I mean, what Trump is doing now is sending the kid to school, but letting the kid decide what he wants to do. So when he goes to school, he will skip classes and not concentrate. So yeah, I mean, good luck to the revival of U.S. industry. I'm afraid I don't see it happening.
Thanks for watching this clip from System Update, our live show that airs every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern exclusively on Rumble. You can catch the full nightly shows live or view the backlog of episodes for free on our Rumble page. You can also find full episodes the morning after they air across all major podcasting platforms, including Spotify and Apple. All the information you need is linked below. We hope to see you there.